Hey everyone, Red here. Welcome to another questions and answers video. I'm going to put all of the questions and timestamps right here. So if you're interested in anything specific, click on one of those. Otherwise, let's just get into it right now. So the first question we have is from Errors, and he asks, but will the first Requiem Rising update be just fixing bugs and adding admin stuff, or are you going to add stands, specialties, etc. in it? We've already released a hotfix. It's on CurseForge, MCPetal, and the Discord right now. You should go get that if you haven't already. It fixes some bugs that were not all that impactful, but they were definitely there. The chances of us releasing another hotfix before we release an actual update is pretty low. We are actually going to be releasing some beta versions to the public soon in the Discord server exclusively. They will go up on CurseForge, but not for a while after the Discord people get them. The first one of those is going to include rework to experience as a whole. Like the amount of experience that bosses drop is going to be changed. The amount of experience that is needed to get skill tree updates is going to be changed. All that stuff, just to make it so farming Leaky Eye Luca forever doesn't turn into an actual strategy. Next we have a question from Bix, who says, now that Requiem Rising is actually out, what is your favorite moveset you've ever made? And a lot of you won't expect this one, but it is actually still World of Curses Sukuna, because he just fits that add-on's combat system so well, it's like comical. I think I have gotten close with some Requiem Rising movesets, specifically Gold Experience is probably my favorite on that add-on so far. Really, I don't think anything I've made really tops Sukuna's moveset for the combat system he's in, even though that combat system is not exactly the greatest. Next we have a question from Black Hole Space Zero, who asks, Kill Kiss Mary, Wos Woke RR. This is extremely straightforward because you can basically just draw like 3 arrows going down from each word, and that's my answer. Next we have a question from XYZOPFKKJ with Bikesadocs. I probably pronounced that horribly. They all ask basically what is your favorite build? The build that I've been using a lot recently has been Gold Experience, Venomous Imbue Fighting Style, and Reforestation, Spin Steel Style with Golden Skin, and then I like to use half Jotaro armor for a strength boost and half Poochie armor because I suck at the game. The Shadow Dark Determination, because what you can do with this build is use Spin Steel Style's Whirlwind Lob and then use Gold Experience's Frog Smash on them. It basically just murders people. And then you can fake them out if they think you're going for the Frog Smash by then using your Life Imbue and just destroy their health that way. I love that build so much. Next is a question from Yachi Karasuno. That's even still his username. I don't know, his name in the server is crazy right now. I haven't spoken to this dude in like years, I'm not gonna lie. He asks, will you consider adding beatdowns to some stands, and if you miss, you get completely shit on? The answer is no. We're actually going for an approach that adds as little ultimate moves as possible. The only reason Time Stop bites the dust in the game right now are because I kinda absolutely had to add them. You can't really have Star Platinum without the Time Stop, and I did try to make Return to Zero as less of an ultimate move as I could. The generic beatdowns are especially not happening. I'm probably gonna nerd out a little, so I'm gonna put a timestamp right here. You can skip this part if you want to, but that's the quick answer. Okay, so the long answer. I don't want to do it because it slows fights down considerably. Both people have to be very careful fighting the other because they know the other guy has a move that can decimate their health. No one wants that to happen. You have to be constantly on edge to not get hit by that move. And that just slows things down tremendously. On top of that, once you actually land it, it feels like it makes the combat a lot less smooth whenever you just have to sit there in a fucking cutscene for like 20 seconds and do nothing. That's why Bites the Dust lasts like 5 seconds or something, because I didn't want to have people freaking sitting there all day doing nothing the whole time. YBA especially has this problem. Specifically Tusk Act 4 beatdown is just fucking abysmal to look at for both the guy using it and the guy getting hit. It's not fun. I want to play the game. I don't want to sit here for a full entire minute watching this cutscene I've seen a billion times. And on top of those things, this is probably the main thing, it actually makes the combat actively worse. Not just because it slows the game down, but because it's like the combat begins to like hinge on it. So whenever you have movesets that have a lot of moves that do little bitty damage, then the fight is based on who can land more of those moves, right? Who can land their moves more consistently, more often, which means that the fight overall is based on the player's skill level, because the more skilled you are, the more opportunities that you are going to have to land your moves. The more you're going to create opportunities for yourself, the more you're going to be able to find opportunities that the opponent unknowingly presents to you in the fight. Meanwhile, with beatdowns, all you really have to do is land this move. It doesn't like... The fight is no longer hinging on who is the better player throughout the whole fight. It's hinging on who can land their ultimate move. They take up so much health that it's like it doesn't even matter. You can play fucking perfectly against someone for an entire fight, and then they land nothing but one beatdown on you, and you're still half health when you kill them. That fucking sucks. And if I make them do like any less damage, let's say I make the beatdown do like 20 damage, what the fuck is the point? You have this big flashy ultimate move where you beat the hell out of this dude only for it to do fucking rubber duck damage. No one wants to play that. You could say like, hey, what about the hands erasure? That's a really big damage move that influences the fight entirely once you land it. And I will say that's true. But the hand's entire kit is built around his erasure. That's why it works. The entire point of the hand is the erasure. If I were to put the erasure on Star Platinum, that's a horrible idea. I'm sorry, but that's atrocious. No. We're not, no. Next, we're gonna run through a batch of questions from Adlace. Would you say Requiem Rising still has PvP as its priority focus? Overall, yes. Right now, not 100%. There's a lot of stuff with the progression that I think feels a little incomplete, but obviously Steel Ball Run is coming up, and I'd kind of have to be stupid to not do something for Steel Ball Run. So we're probably going to deal with a lot of the progression stuff later on, and that's assuming I don't just get annihilated immediately the second I become an adult. Next, are we likely to see more completely original things like Edict, and to what extent, if that can be told? Things like KCR, even though that's not what you asked for, are like... Those are probably coming to Requiem Rising. More completely custom things would be interesting, but if like literally everybody has an actively negative reaction to that, I won't do it. But I do have some at least fairly interesting custom stand concepts that I made, and there's also some stands from the fan game, the 7th Stand User, if anyone's ever played that. A really fun concept to me, at least, is like stand fusions, like Roka stuff, you know? so some of that might get in. But always remember, if I add something and you don't like it, we have the ban movesets feature. You can just go ban it. There are 2 buttons specifically made to ban non-canons and completely customs, which is the difference between those two. Something like King Crimson Requiem, The World Over Heaven would be considered a non-canon, and something that I just made up or I got from like the 7th stand user, that would be a completely custom. Is Heaven Ascension Dio likely to remain the permanent final boss? He is almost guaranteed to remain the permanent final boss. I might add another boss alongside him, like on the same rank, but he will not be as strong as Heaven Dio. Are we likely to ever see even more components of custom movesets besides stands, specs, DD fighting styles? I think I kind of already brought it to a point where it's like if I add anything else, it's just gonna be too complicated. No one's gonna understand anything that's going on. It's already kind of getting like that because the Minecraft Bedrock community is mainly children, and I'm sorry, but most children cannot understand the concept of mix and match to make an atomic bomb. I've already seen people, like a lot of people, that don't even know multiple of these systems exist in the first place. So we're gonna get more content for all aspects. We're gonna get more stands, more specs, more dark determinations, more accessory sets, more fighting styles, but I don't think I'm ever going to add a 6th option. And how do you think your add-on is best played / at its best? Do you think this will differ from what people will play your add-on for in the longer run? I think my add-on is best played however you want to play it. If you're asking me personally though, I like to use it in creative worlds and just PvP for fun. As I've said a million times before, PvP is most of the add-ons content. It is like infinitely more expansive than I think I could even make the PvE, though I do want to expand on that too. I think most people will end up playing the PvE more than the PvP, unfortunately, mainly just because a lot of people just like straight up don't have friends. These are fucking dark times we live in. Or people have really shitty Wi-Fi because they live in the middle of nowhere, or people just can't convince the friends that they do have to play with them. Or it's a lot more difficult to actually get on multiplayer than it is to get on single player, and we have quite a few single player features. It's not like it's unplayable if it's only you playing, so I think there will be a lot more people playing the PvE than the PvP. Next we have a question from Weather, who asks, what are some stands you will not ever even consider adding to Requiem Rising? Just in general, stands that are near useless or massive. Strength has no chance whatsoever, Superfly has no chance whatsoever, and when I say useless stands, I mean, like, I'm sorry, but what is Cinderella gonna do? Okay, Cinderella. And this actually ties in to another question from Black Hole Space Zero, who asks, will stands like Cheap Trick, Chaos, Cinderella, etc. be up for implementation into Requiem Rising, or will it only be combat-oriented stands? When I say Cinderella is useless, what I mean is Cinderella has no purpose for combat and has no purpose for basically anything else. We will absolutely be adding, or we will absolutely be open to adding stands like Mr. President burning down the house, stuff like that. That's just like meant for like SMP stuff, like survival, pure utility. Cheap Trick and Heya are actually, they actually both have more combat oriented concepts right now, so that's funny that you use those ones as examples. But generally the answer is yes. Just Cinderella specifically doesn't really do anything, so no. Next we have a question from C Disco, who asks, you said you're more of a game designer than a coder in the past, so I'm curious, what are your favorite and least favorite games of all time so far in terms of their design? This is either going to be extremely predictable or someone's going to have a seizure over this. This is also probably going to make a lot of people hate me. I'll start with my favorites. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Two of the best games literally ever, just full stop. Those games are incredible in every aspect. Difficulty scaling, risk reward type stuff with like the shrines and Breath of the Wild and Light Roots and Tears of the Kingdom and whatnot. Even though I don't usually like storylines, I think they did about as good a job as they could have with them. I'm also just really a sucker for open world games. But yeah, both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are just fucking phenomenal. Also very much up there, at the same level as those two games, honestly. Half-Life 2. I used to like laugh at Half-Life fans for always hoping that they were going to get a third game. And then I played it, and I realized why they wanted a third game so bad. I know it's like a 2004 game. I literally do not care. It's worth it. If you have not played Half-Life 2, go play Half-Life 2. I also did play Half-Life 1. It wasn't as good as Half-Life 2, but it was still pretty solid. Just the graphics tick me off. I'm a little spoiled in that regard, I'm not gonna lie. World's most predictable pick, Your Bizarre Adventure. Everyone knows I like that game and why I like it. Okay, moving on. I think a game genre I've never really spoken on before would be horror games, because I'm not exactly known to play horror games, if you get what I mean. Fuck this game. My absolute favorite in that genre, Five Nights at Freddy's actually is close, but that series is fucking laughable at this point. Security Breach was basically just them shitting their pants, wetting the bed, and making fun of themselves for doing it. The Welcome to the Game series is probably my favorite horror series. It's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's, but like on crack. And instead of just sitting there doing nothing, you have an actual objective. And also, it's like 3,000 times harder. The only times I've ever gotten to play them, unfortunately, were at my friend's house. I don't have any of the games on Steam, and honestly, I'm not sure if I want to go through all the shitting my pants required to beat them. I remember the last time I tried to play Scrutinized was maybe the worst experience of my life. For the shits, most obvious pick ever coming up, Souls RNG. It's not even a fucking game. Blocks Fruits, something 8 Snowmans. A Universal Time is basically just Blocks Fruits, but instead of One Piece, it's like everything ever. The only difference is the grind is like marginally better, because at least you get to fight bosses sometimes. This one's really gonna piss people off. The Strongest Battlegrounds is just a load of fucking dog shit. Like, it is terrible. Okay, the combat, at a low skill level, at a very, very low skill level, it actually works really well. I like it. The second you get to the higher skill levels, it becomes complete and total dog shit, because everyone can just press the same 3 buttons on their fucking keyboard, stun you forever, and take away all your fucking health with basically one hit, because you made one little tiny mistake. It's the exact same reasoning I gave for why I don't like beatdowns. It's just instead of it being a beatdown, it's a combo. So instead of one button, it's multiple buttons. It's the same fucking thing. It's literally the same fucking thing. The awakening system is also just horrible. I explained why I don't like those in a community post a while back. That game is just fucking dog shit. If we want a more modern pick, something that some of you are actually probably playing right now, Animal Hospital. That game is basically just interact button. The game, I don't really have that much to say about it. We're going to do some questions a little faster now. From Xenomorph. What is the biggest mistake 90% of game designers make that completely ruins their game? Games as a whole have a whole plethora of issues. Everything has its different case, you know? But with add-ons specifically, I am seeing a, unfortunately, very often recurring pattern in that people will make attacks and then not think about how people will counter them. I love TBW so much. TBW is the GOAT. Father Pucci is a fucking legend, and I hope he literally wins like $1 trillion at the casino tomorrow. I swear to God. But I don't know if it's patched out already or not, because the last time I got a chance to play was a while back. But that King Crimson Requiem move where he pulls out the sphere that like drags everyone into it and damages them, at least last time I played, that thing was just complete and total bullshit. By far the coolest move in his kit. I love the way it looks. It's amazing. But it was bullshit. I'm sure I'm not free of this too. There's probably something in the add-on right now that's kind of bullshit. Please let me know if you see something and you think, wow, that's bullshit, so that I can actually like look at it. Next from Viro, do you think Mojang is taking Minecraft in a good or bad direction at the moment? I think it's mixed. There's been some pretty good updates. There's been some pretty awful updates. There's been some updates that do nothing. Another question from Nice Guy. What is your favorite and least favorite Minecraft update? I don't know if this means like overall or just recently, but I'm just going to pick two from recent times since that's probably what he's asking. My favorite recent update would honestly probably be Mounts of Mayhem. The spear is a really cool addition. I like what they did with that. I really like that they finally gave the zombie horse a use, so it's not just sitting there taking up freaking space on my computer doing nothing all the time. Least favorite, people aren't gonna like this one, the Nether update. Purely because of Netherite. I want to make that very clear. It's literally only because of Netherite. Everything else in that update is like amazing, but literally single-handedly the addition of Netherite was so horrible it just ruins the entire update. I cannot fucking stand Netherite. Next question from Mink. Would you say Requiem Rising is the best JoJo's add-on of all time? Because I think so. Thank you! No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all. Our visual effects are good. They're not TBW visual effects. Requiem Rising isn't quite as smooth as some other add-ons out there, though I have a pseudo plan that's going to take like 15 years, but it'll make everything more smooth if I do it. I'll probably get on that eventually. I think we are at least approaching the best in the combat aspect. If not, we are already there. I think I did a great job with the combat. I've received practically zero negative comments about it, other than that it's unbalanced, which can always be fixed. The structure itself seems very solid to me. So, next is a question from Void. Is there anything you really wanted to add but you couldn't for some reason? Well, there's quite a few things that I wanted to add, and I couldn't add any of them because I wanted to get the add-on out in August so that my developers who are either about to become super inactive or leave forever can actually play it before they have to become super inactive or leave forever. The first thing, most people probably noticed this, but Underworld is supposed to have a plane move, though I have been kind of rethinking that one recently because it is, like, I could only really make it an ultimate type of move, so I'm not too sure if I should actually go back and include that one, you know what I'm talking about? But another thing is I was supposed to rework the parry system before we released, and I never did it, so combat rework, or combat system rework that doesn't affect literally anything but makes it easier for me to work with stuff, could be released eventually. There was also supposed to be a Heaven Ascension Dio armor set, which just didn't end up happening. Some more admin settings I wanted to add, like 1 user per stand, saturation toggle. I'm going to be doing that one real soon. And max health change in the global value modifier section is also something I wanted to do. Next, a question from Black Hole Space Zero. Which of the many already present in Requiem Rising were the most challenging to code for both stands and specialties? For stands, I have to give it to Star Platinum, because the time stop was so hard to code that I did not, in fact, code it, and I had to get someone else's help. Thank you, Dapipara. For specialties, even though it only has like 2 moves, Spin was a nightmare just because of Whirlwind Lob. Steel Ball took me like 5 minutes. Whirlwind Lob took me maybe 2 days. That just because I am not good at coding whatsoever. Next question is from Tony. You said you wanted to get into music professionally, so I'm curious, what type of stuff are you going to be making? Not entirely sure right now. Well, I'm trying to learn like a lot of different genres at the same time, so I have a lot of options for what to play. But I'm pretty much just gonna be playing whichever one I can make enough money to not starve off of. It would be a cool career for me because there are a lot of songs I like that I at least can delude myself into the thought that I know how to play them. And hopefully I get at least a few days off a week, which is all the time I need to continue developing Requiem Rising. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to be playing, because there's a lot of options, but hopefully it's not Taylor Swift. Finally, we have this question from Ren. Will you add Triple T? Okay, so the next update has been leaked. We are, in fact, adding tongue. So that's about it for today. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, yada yada yada. Fucking comment on my video. Comment right now. You want to leave a comment so bad. Ooh, you want to leave a comment. Ooh. Okay, bye.